Hello, hello. Are we live? It would appear so. Welcome to Hyperfixation of the Week, where it's not our first time in the cycle. I'm Phoenix, also known as the hero of the bird, maybe? I don't know. That's the best I got.
I could steal that one too, unfortunately.
No, it's mine.
I'm not going to.
It's my name.
I'm Victorian. I guess you could say I am, I don't know, hero sleep, maybe.
And Jordan will hopefully be here eventually. They have other obligations they're currently doing and will hopefully join us. But, heroes, cycles. What could these relate to, Victoria?
I mean, there's plenty of things, but I think the most relevant one would be...
You mean the most relevant, as in the one that we are covering today?
Yes.
Yeah, that would make it very relevant.
Also just relevant societally. You could call Undertale cycles with a hero.
No, there's no cycle happening in Undertale.
Yes, there is.
No, there's not.
Yes, there is.
I will get in a fight.
So will I, but that's not relevant right now.
But the cycle that we're talking about is the cycle of the Triforce. The Triforce of power, the Triforce of...
wisdom.
And the Triforce of courage, which all relate to one thing, The Legend of Zelda. Let's start with this. Who is the main character of The Legend of Zelda?
Not Zelda.
Not Zelda. Not Zelda. If you call my boy Link Zelda, I will be mad. Link is my boy, and I love him. Zelda is the princess who gets kidnapped or something will happen to her in every single game. What happens depends on the game. Sometimes she's just chilling out, dressed up as a ninja. Sometimes
the timeline kidnaps her.
No, she didn't get messed up with her timeline.
No, I said the timeline kidnaps her because she did fucking time travel stuff.
Not in that game. Or maybe she holds herself... Maybe she uses herself to hold the great Demon King captive for 100 years. Dad, no, Link is so much better than Zelda. I'm not going to get in an argument with my dad about Link versus Zelda. Not going to get in an argument with my dad about the Legend of Zelda protagonist. But yes, The Legend of Zelda, for those of you who don't know, is a very good game series that started on the original Nintendo.
I've tried to play the original Legend of Zelda on, like, the Nintendo Online thing.
No,
I got very bored.
You cannot unless you have a guide. Genuinely, it's a very old game that you really need a guide for.
I got so bored.
You should not play the original Legend of Zelda. If you want to play an early Zelda game that is fun, play Link's Awakening, Link to the Past, or Ocarina of Time.
I also tried to play Ocarina of Time, but the controls on Nintendo Online suck.
Dad, there are not 37 Links. Now you're just lying.
No, I'm pretty sure there's a lot.
Not 37.
I mean, I think that might be including, like...
No, because some games have the same Link.
No, I'm thinking, because I know that there's some games where there's technically 4. I think he might be counting them all as separate ones.
Alright, here we go. That's technically one Link, because those are the 4 swords.
I know, but a lot of people consider them kind of 4 separate characters.
And then so every Link, as you heard by our intro being the heroes or something, every Link is, the way that we distinguish them, because all of them are named Link. They all have a hero title. So there's the 4 swords, the hero of the 4 swords, which is Legend of Zelda the 4 swords. The hero of worlds. Oh wait, no, the new hero of Hyrule, which would be A Link Between Worlds, and Triforce Heroes. Then there is the hero of the Minish, Legend of Zelda the Minish Cap. Hero of Trains, yes, you heard that right. I would make an argument there that's just that's just Wind Waker. That's just Hero of the Winds, right? Like, that's a whole other thing. Hero of Hyrule, which is the original Link. Well, no, not the original Link. The original... So, fun fact about Zelda, the timeline's fucked. It's fucked. The first game is not the first one in the timeline. The first game is actually really late in the timeline.
That's Skyward Sword, right?
No, I said the first game is not the first game in the timeline. The first game is Legend of Zelda, which is really far down in the fall. We can get into the timeline a little bit, but Skyward Sword, a game that came out for the Nintendo Wii, is the first one in the timeline.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm pretty sure Skyward Sword was first in the timeline.
I would argue that that's not a real Link. The hero of Twilight for Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, goated game. The first ever Link, Hero of Skies for Skyward Sword. Hero of the Wild, Breath of the Wild.
I've only played Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
I played multiple. The Hero of Light for the Four Swords Adventures. Hero of Winds, which is the Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass, which is when they first created the Link that is Toon. That's when they created Toon Link.
Yeah.
That's literally the same Link again. Shut up. It's not even an alternate timeline. This article is just lying to me. Genuinely, this article is lying to me. Hero of Time, Ocarina of Time. Yeah. Once again, same Link.
Yes, but within the games, they tend to have different titles.
No. It's saying that the young Link from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask is a different Link to Link of Ocarina of Time. That's the same guy, just at different ages. And then there's the hero of Legend for the Oracle of Ages and Seasons and Link's Awakening. Sorry, I pulled up a random article there. That article made me really mad, because as much as Link, one of the major things is reincarnation. It is not the same. It is very rarely the same Link or the same Zelda or the same Ganondorf. They are always in a constant cycle of reincarnation and fighting back, like Hawkman from DC Comics. But more importantly, for some reason, that article just lied to us, saying that some Links were different Links. It literally said Age of Calamity is a different timeline to Breath of the Wild.
No, it's
not.
not.
No, it's not. It's a direct sequel.
Isn't the timeline, like, really, really weird?
Yes, and people can argue, and you can still argue about it to this day.
The general consensus I've seen is that it converges at Breath of the Wild.
Yes. So it's hard. There are a lot of arguments about Breath of the Wild because of the way that it is. So, oh God, I wish Jordan. I wish Jordan was here for timeline shit, because Zelda timeline is really, really annoying to explain, because it starts with Skyward Sword, the game that was released in the late 2000s. That's not a joke.
I know that.
This 40-year-old game series, the first game in the chronological timeline is there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I don't know what comes... God, I'm looking up the Zelda timeline, because...
I know that there's... I know that when it splits off is after Ocarina of Time.
I was going to say, if you get that wrong, I'm going to be a little sad.
Yeah, it splits off after Ocarina of Time. It splits into 3 others.
Okay. So it starts with Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword.
Which is when the cycle starts. Link fights this guy named Demise, who gets pissed off and curses him, Zelda, and Demise himself to constantly reincarnate. Demise eventually becoming Ganon. Not Ganondorf. There is a big difference between Ganon and Ganondorf. Ganondorf is specifically when he's humanoid. Yes, if you think that this is a normal game series for children and that there's not much to be seen here, you're wrong. I'm burdened with knowledge because I really like this game series. So then, after Skyward Sword, where they're in floating islands above the ground, yep.
I know.
And they don't go down to the ground, really. Yep. There's Minish Cap with a little hat that lets them shrink.
That's that early in the timeline?
Yeah. Hey, Jordan.
We have a Jordan now.
Hey, George, guess what? Ready to talk about the Zelda timeline?
Oh, no.
This was your idea.
I mean, we
Hello,
didn't...
ladies, gentlemen, and
Your mic's muted.
Alright, am I on?
Yeah, you are on now.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to...
Oh, wait, the intro was, we were saying what heroes we are. What's your hero title? Because every Link has a hero title.
I'm the hero of women.
I hate you.
Jordan, I need an opinion. Would me saying Hero of Sleep be very, very fitting?
Oh my god, yes. You are the hero of the dream realm.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
So...
Is that the Ian Atkins Memorial Wall?
Yeah, so because you can't see it, everyone, we now have a dry erase wall that we can write on. We've been writing Ian Atkins on a lot. But, okay, so the timeline starts with Skyward Sword, where they're in the sky, and Link starts the cycle by pissing off some guy named Demise who wanted to destroy the world. There's also some guy named Girahim there, but he's only important to that game, and...
Oh my god, I can't believe I walked in at this time of all times.
Yep.
This is terrible.
So then comes Minish Cap.
Oh my god, don't even talk to me about Minish Cap.
Where you get a weird, funky hat that talks to you and you
The
shrink.
hat looks so weird.
Jordan, my dad said that Link's Constance Rebirth is Doctor Who, and Dad, no. It's different.
Honestly, having all the doctors and all the links interact would be very interesting, I would want that.
Okay, but I want the David Tennant doctor to talk to the David Tennant doctor.
Ladies and gentlemen, I counter this with all David Tennant characters in the same room.
No. Okay,
Yes.
so after Minish Cap is 4 swords, where for some reason Link is 4 guys, not 1?
It's because they wanted a multiplayer.
Okay, and then we get Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time is where it gets really funky, because here it splits into 3 main timelines, and I'm going to say the way that I call the timelines. So, there's in Ocarina of Time, midway through the game, Link collects some stuff, and some sages go, "Hey, Link, guess what? Ooga booga." And now you're like a 20-year-old. Have fun, you 8-year-old child.
In the body of a 20-year-old.
And then,
so can we give them the logical timeline splits? This is why talking about the Zelda timeline is so bad.
Yeah.
It splits into 3
I have a
and
picture.
reconverges
I have
at
a
some
picture.
point.
I have a picture.
Oh my god. So once you get to Ocarina of Time, there are 3 timelines. There is one where Link stays a child, achieved his purpose at the ripe age of like 12 and a half, and doesn't know what to do anymore. There's a timeline where Link is an adult and perfectly fine, and the timeline continues as normal. And there's one where he just loses.
No. They have titles. So there's Child Timeline, where Link beats Ganon, and he goes, Can I be an 8-year-old again? And they just go, sure. So he leaves the world without a hero. There's now because he went back to being a child, there's a world missing their hero.
Yes. This is the
Child
child / missing hero timeline.
And then there's the other timeline, where he just goes,
Okay,
cool, I just want to be an adult now. And once again, there's somewhere missing their hero. The child time is in the hero. And then there's basketball.
Oh my god, I swear to god, I knew you were going to do the Brian David Gilbert reference.
I'm not going to elaborate on why I call it basketball, but the more common name is Fallen Hero.
Okay.
It's a Brian David Gilbert reference. If ladies and gentlemen at home listening, including possibly my mom, I'm going to check.
Both of my parents.
Hang on, let me text
If I
her.
really wanted to, I could try to drag my ex into listening to this, and he would probably
No.
get very pissed with how you're describing all of this.
Here's the thing, I'm a huge Zelda fan.
So was he. Literally, his entire room was fucking Zelda.
So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, and others, and everyone in between, if you want to know why it's called basketball, I strongly suggest Polygon's Unraveled episode 1 of the Zelda Timeline Unraveled, hosted by Brian David Gilbert, quote, the Polygon Twink, end quote.
So I want to also mention,
Twink.
we are going to mention.
Oh my god, my mom's at urgent care.
We are only. Oh god, I hope she's okay. Tell her I hope she's okay.
Hang on a second.
George, you can leave the room. Yeah, I'll mute you. George, we'll continue in your absence. So I'd like to mention this for those of you who do want to go and watch that video. We are covering the main series games.
Yes.
Zelda has a lot of spin-offs.
A lot.
And some TV shows.
A very notorious TV show.
No, those are actually CDR games. CDR games.
That was?
Yeah, like choose your own adventure type games. But like, they were technically games. And it led to my favorite quote of all time. Well, excuse me, princess.
God damn it, I need to fix this.
First
now.
of all, excuse me, princess. Second of all, my mom is in urgent care because they're testing for the flu. We're all good.
Oh, okay.
So, I only mentioned the show because I remember there was like an advertisement at the end of one of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show episodes.
I loved that show.
Also, it's not excuse me, princess. It's excuse
That's a nice waveform.
me, princess.
I'd also like to mention, there was originally going to be a Legend of Zelda TV show for Netflix. It was canceled. Guess who they cast to play Link?
Who?
Tom Holland. I love Tom Holland.
Not for
And
Link.
not for Link, specifically because there's one main factor of Link. Link is a twink.
Link is a twink.
As much as he's like one of the strongest people in canon, fights essentially gods regularly.
He wields the weapons of mighty creatures of pure stone and molten lava like it's nothing, and just swings around weapons that are twice his size, and then jumps and does a little backflip for the shits and giggles.
He has the ultimate sleeper
Oh,
build.
one no fun
But
fact.
he's also built like
One
a
no fun
twink.
fact about Ocarina of Time. So because of the way that it's made, you can't run and you can't have the horse when you're a child, right? Guess the fastest way to go around when you're a child. Side strafing or backflipping?
Oh yeah,
Or like back running.
What's it called?
You would.
There's a technique thing that you have to do.
You target locking to start walking backwards. Okay, but no. So which timeline do you want to go down first? Missing child, missing adult.
I'd like to go down missing adult.
Which one has Majora's Mask? Is that the
missing
child?
adult?
Missing adult. That's why I wanted to go down it.
So Link goes down this path where he goes. I want to be a kid again.
I should get Aiden listening to the show.
And then he goes and has the most horrific experience in the most terrifying Zelda game ever created.
That thing is horrifying.
Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask.
There's a reason there's creepypastas based in that game specifically.
Really good game,
horrifying.
though.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I take a moment to talk about Majora's Mask without the context of the horror and the creep factor and the whatever?
Beautiful game.
It is one of the most graceful depictions of death and grief in a video game that I have ever encountered, maybe countered by Grease, as in the French spelling of gray. It shattered my heart and my soul and put me back together again a new man. Majora's Mask did the same thing, but also gave me nightmares. Majora's Mask guides you through the cycle of death and life, grief and joy in such a beautiful, dramatic way. And it truly shows you what it means to be human, and to be human is to be beautifully insignificant. I've never felt smaller playing a game, but I've also never felt more consequential.
Because there is no Ganondorf.
There's no Ganondorf. There's no evil to defeat. There's no villain. There's just
the moon.
Fate.
The moon will fall.
It is fate and it is death. It is a death you cannot escape, even after time and time and time and time again.
The moon will fall in 3 days, and that is 3 days game time. You cannot stop the time in the game. You cannot turn it back. The 3 days will happen, and when the moon falls, it saves what you've done, but you're back on day one.
If you would like another game that also does this time loop incredibly well, The Outer Wilds, not The Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds is a decent shooter. Outer Wilds.
Did you just call that game? I'm sorry. I love that game.
I wasn't a huge fan of Outer Worlds, but I can understand
it's Fallout New Vegas in space.
Outer Wilds?
It's not a joke. It's the same company.
Is a storytelling game
Obsidian.
about archaeology, death, love, family, and an incredibly, incredibly short lifespan cut even shorter by an exploding sun. And a time loop where no one remembers a goddamn thing except for you.
Damn, now you sold me on the game.
Not only that, you know who else remembers? Your ship, with a permanent log of all of the archaeology and discoveries you've done, revealing the stories, individuals' love and heartbreak of a race that came before you and tried to explore the stars, before all dying out mysteriously.
Damn it, now I want to play that game.
You see their names, you see their interactions, their love. You see the bodies that were before you.
Jordan, I have too many games I'm playing right now. You can't pitch me on another game.
It is one of the most beautiful experiences I have ever felt. Anyways, in Majora's Mask, there's this creepy guy with a smile, and he sells you masks, and also Ben totally drowned, and also like the moon crashes, and it's got teeth.
But after Majora's Mask,
it shouldn't have
comes
teeth.
A game that I want to preface.
Why does it have teeth? Why does it have teeth?
So I want to preface this with, when the GameCube was announced, they had like a thing, they had like a little video to show the technical prowess, and there was this really cool video of this like cool, realistic Link Ganondorf fight, right?
Yes.
And after that video, you know what game came out? Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, where it's a very cel-shaded, cartoony, kind of Looney Tunes-ish style. Very good game. I love it personally. Very good.
I know many ways to break that game.
Yes, it's a very breakable game.
I know how to break most of the Zelda games.
Hello, Aiden.
Zelda speedrunners are some of the coolest mashers. I'm just gonna say zombie hovering and zombie hovering, and if you know what I'm saying, you know.
Bokoblins are nothing but trampolines.
Oh, that's bullet time bounces. That's a different thing.
I know,
yeah.
But that's all I can ever think about when I hear Zelda speedrunning. All I can think about is...
Yep. Okay, so we're gonna get there because that's not in this timeline. Wind Waker, we don't have to worry about that right now. But people were really mad. Wind Waker's a cult classic. People love it nowadays. People were really mad back then because they just watched this really cool, realistic Link Ganondorf fight and got really mad. And Wind Waker kind of bombed a little bit. It didn't do as well as it should have.
Because if you look at Wind Waker, it's one of, not the, but one of the most cartoony Zelda games.
The only one that beats it is Spirit Tracks.
It's funny that it's such a like a
Link's
cult
Awakening.
classic when it bombed on original release and then got re-released
That's
on
re-release.
and then it got
That's
re-released
remake.
on a console that bombed itself.
The original Link's Awakening was pixel art.
I know, but the current Link's Awakening is
Yeah.
the most cartoony game to
Okay,
date.
so then they made Twilight Princess, where it's just grimdark Zelda, and everyone's like a little bit sexier for some reason.
Everyone is.
Even
Everything on the Wii.
even Tingle.
Everything on the Wii.
That was a GameCube game.
Was it?
Yep.
I will say this.
No,
about
the
Twilight
Wii
Princess.
re-release was somehow even more grungier.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need your attention, please. Midna's final form in Twilight Princess did something to my heart, body, and soul that cannot
I've
be
never
expressed.
seen that version of her. I've only seen the little imp.
Look it up.
Look it up.
I don't need more distracting me right
Victoria,
now.
look it up.
You also can turn into a Link can also turn into
You
a
can also
wolf
turn
in
to
that
a
game,
wolf.
and it's
You
kind of
can also
cool.
turn to a wolf. It'll be really
That's probably someone's furry awakening.
And then you remember how Four Swords was like the third game in the timeline? Cool. After Twilight Princess is Four Swords Adventures.
Wasn't
And-
that for like the DS or something?
I think so. And then Zelda's Adventure. Zelda does things, if I remember correctly. And then we're done. That's the end of that timeline. For now.
For now,
We'll get back there.
they're still doing games. Although I
So-
don't know if they'll ever do better than what they've been doing recently.
Yes and no. It's very different. It's what they're doing recently is very not Zelda. I kind of want them to bring back an old Zelda type game because I like old Zelda.
They've been breaking the mold in a beautiful way. Regardless, let's talk about Missing Child,
Missing Child.
the adult timeline.
Link stays an adult, and what happens is, well, there's no one to protect where he was a kid. So Ganon wins
In another timeline.
in another timeline.
Not this one.
Not this one. And what happens is, Ganon wins. Cool. Fuck it. Let's flood Hyrule. You think I'm joking? No.
No, but you hear me out.
Aren't the Zora and the Rito like
The
don't they
Zora aren't
originate
or
from
the
same-
Zora aren't there. The
Hear
Zora
me out.
don't exist.
Hear me out. I know we all studied mythologies a little bit, but from my studies in mythology, correct me if I'm wrong, this is just the world flood monomyth.
Yes. Yes. Literally. Because essentially Hyrule becomes Atlantis. But, so then, world floods. Cool. They're all living on islands. Cool. Now there's these people who are bird people. But not bird people like you think. They're just humans with beaks.
Wood.
No. And Link's just some kid living at his grandma's house. And goes on like his pirate's adventure, but oh no, that pirate's Zelda. Oh, he's collecting the Triforce. Oh, he's fighting Ganondorf. Oh, he's underwater. What the fuck happened? And then goes Phantom Hourglass, where he kind of does a similar thing again. And then comes an even a funnier. But now Zelda was like a suit of armor for a little bit. Don't ask. And then comes the funny game. Spirit Tracks. Link just likes train. He likes trains.
He just becomes autistic.
He just likes trains. I didn't want to make that joke. He just likes
I
trains.
feel like
like
he is through the
trains.
whole thing.
I like trains.
And you know what's even funnier after that? Spirit Tracks is the end of Missing Adult.
That's it. Which means everything happening in our current timeline is in the Everyone Dies Oh Well timeline.
Well, is it? Maybe.
We're post convergence at this point.
Yeah. So
We'll get
so
to
now
that.
now we go back to Ocarina of Time, and you
There's-
went and played basketball with your friend. Link's dead.
Link is dead in both timelines. Both timelines are missing their hero. There's no one left. Ganon won. Oh well. Tough.
Link to the past. But here's the thing. Ganon in Ocarina of Time was Ganondorf. He was humanoid because every
Actually, he was a Gerudo. He was the only male Gerudo born in 100 years.
I was about to say, every 100 years, this tribe of all female women in the desert
All female women.
would. All female warriors would.
Yes,
I
will
I
agree
want
on
them.
that
I
one.
want them. I want them.
They
I
have-
want them. I want them.
They have a male child. And they celebrate him as their king. The only problem is every single time that male child's Ganondorf.
Which means every
It's always him.
100 years.
Always him.
Which means every 100 years, this tribe of women just has to worship the Dark King.
And there's just, oh hey, look, there's a, the king of Hyrule just gave birth to this beautiful girl. Sometimes she's blonde. Sometimes.
That's Zelda.
And then and she meets this quiet guy who becomes her dedicated guard.
Who's also blonde.
Zelda's not always blonde though.
But the guard is.
The guard is always blonde.
Because it's Link.
And
And then these are the... have you gone over the reincarnation of the 3 aspects of the Triforce?
little bit, we can get there after we're done the timeline. So, Ganon wins. He just becomes this gross pig monster guy.
Oink oink.
And then there's Link to the Past. I don't know Link to the Past that well. It's an
Me
older game.
neither.
I don't know.
And after
anything
there's
about
Link's
it.
Awakening, where it's just a dream.
It's all a dream.
And after there is Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages. I don't know those games well.
Me neither.
They're
you tell
older
that
games.
the basketball timeline is
They're cool.
not that
Then there's a Link Between Worlds, which is really cool, where you
okay,
can
that one's cool.
where you can go into walls, and then there's a Hilda who's like goth Zelda, and she's kind of hot.
I just noticed the Bonnie post-it.
Don't question things. And then there's also like a purple Link guy too. It's really cool.
A purple guy?
It took
I
me
hate
a
you.
moment to see what
Then
you
there's
were talking
Triforce
about.
Heroes, which is kind of just 4 swords, but there's 3 of them.
Oh.
And then there's The Legend of Zelda, the first game.
Yeah.
We just got there, by the way, guys. Hi.
Guys, in case you were wondering,
That's where the first game is.
yeah, the timeline isn't in release order. The
I
timeline is in
I like games with a fucky timeline.
I wish.
not
it
this
was-
funky.
Yeah, no. Because here's the thing. None of this timeline is really canon. This is the fans piecing things together. Oh, also, by the way, there's no bird people in this timeline. Now there's fish guys, and they're kind of mean.
Zora.
Zora.
They're kind of mean, but also a lot of people really, really, really
But
like them.
But hey, in the missing adult timeline where Link goes back to a kid, the Zoras are just guys. They're just fish dudes. They're just chill. And so now, after The Legend of Zelda, there's The Legend of Zelda 2. They're in order, guys. Except that's the end of basketball. No more basketball.
Now the timelines converge.
So there's this game called Hyrule Warriors.
God, the fact that Hyrule Warriors is the missing
I
link,
hate it.
pun intended.
I hate it because Hyrule Warriors is not a story game, really. It's not a Zelda game, really.
It's a
For
beat 'em
those
up.
of you who know, Dad, you've played, Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, Darksiders.
Okay, but I love Devil May Cry.
Me too. For those of you who are real nerds, and you've played the No More Heroes games, you're icons, and I love that game, and I love No More Heroes 3.
Does Link ever have the spirit of the hero in Wind Waker? Because that's a debate on whether or not he does.
Yes.
This is a question from a listener.
He collects the Triforce.
He collects the Triforce Loser.
But now, Hyrule Warriors is just a beat 'em up game where you play as a bunch of people, including you can just play as Ganondorf if you want. Because mind you, Ganondorf's not evil. The evil in this game is just this woman who converged the timelines because she was down horrendous for Link.
That's it. That's
She
the
really
explanation.
wanted Link.
That's the explanation.
Yeah, she wanted Link.
Well, anyways, let's talk about after the convergence.
So now all the timelines are together. The Rito are there, who's are only there when the world is flooded. The Zora are there and friendly. And slightly more attractive. And the Gor
Sidon.
and we haven't mentioned them yet, but
Sidon.
Mifa.
Both.
And we haven't mentioned them yet, but my favorite dudes, the Gorons. They're just
They're so silly.
they're just rock
I
dudes
love
who are
them.
almost all dumb and just have a bunch of bombs.
Also, they're all like, are they all men or do they just call everyone brother?
No, there's women.
Are there?
Yeah. They also
Don't-
can roll into balls like armadillos.
I know, it's adorable.
so silly.
They're so silly. I love them so much, and they're so big and friendly, and they just pat you on the back and they call you little
It'd be
brothers.
so great to make like a pillow pet type plushie out of.
Oh my god, I would love that.
Yeah.
I could almost definitely make that.
So what happens after they all converge, where everything's there? Well, we get Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
After Ganon wins, and you bring back to life, and you wake up and you go,
Because
hey,
what happens
you're
is,
finally awake,
because
says
hey,
Zelda.
Ganon's here. Cool. Isn't that so cool how Ganon's here now? Except he's not really
Here.
the same anymore.
There's something.
He's been driven wild, even more bestial than normal.
This is. May I?
Yeah.
May I do the dramatic monologue?
Yep.
This is something beyond the monster of Ganon that you had to face in the original games. This is something beyond the massive man known as Ganondorf. This is something beyond the bestial form. This is a pure energy of malice and hatred.
Calamity Ganon.
It is a calamity upon the land. It is
Just
a
the pure,
scourge
like
of the
natural
castle.
embodiment.
They go and
of-
collect. They go and collect
Evil.
this ancient technology from the the ancient Sheikah civilization.
Tribe.
We haven't mentioned them. They're cool as hell. Zelda pretended to be a ninja Sheikah once.
Did you know that all of the Sheikah, like, shape language technology, all of it is actually based off of ancient Japanese pottery?
So cool.
It is so... All of the Guardians are designed after the ancient pottery of some Japanese tribes. I'm not even kidding. It's so cool.
God, I love Zelda. So now
Also, all their clothing is, like, very traditional.
So now
right?
they
It's
go
very
and
cool.
Link is officially Zelda's champion. Zelda's struggling with her powers over the Triforce of Wisdom. Because mind you, they're all embodiments of the Triforce. Link's just
Courage.
a dude. He's just some dude who just runs in face first.
Link is courage.
He doesn't have any visible powers.
Link has a power within. Link does not have a magical boom boom pow power. Link has the power of courage and valiance so strong that the sword that seals the darkness would choose him as its wielder every time.
There's Zelda who she gets magic. What the magic does depends on the game.
Depends on the game.
And then there's Ganon, the embodiments of the Triforce of Power. What does he get?
Pure evil.
Pure evil,
Boom,
pure
boom.
strength. He just kind of gets to do what he wants unless your name is Link
Yeah.
and you wield the Master Sword. Because does Link... No, you can... Link can canonically beat him without the Master Sword. Well, no, because the canon ending of Breath of the Wild, he has the Master Sword. yeah.
Technically, you can canonically beat him with just brooms, but you know.
Well, no, because it's not the canon ending.
I know. But you can beat him with just
So,
brooms.
but here's the thing. They collect this ancient technology, these giant animals that that shoot lasers.
Not
and-
just animals. Giant mecha animals
That
from
can shoot
the
lasers.
ancient worlds. They are called the divine beasts.
There's
They
a-
are modeled after a camel, after an
Varudanya...
elephant.
Let's see. So, Vamedo is the elephant.
No, Vamedo is
Bird?
the eagle.
Okay, bird. Varudanya is... Camel?
The lizard.
Oh, God. Those are the only ones I can remember offhand.
Naboris is the camel.
Naboris is
Yes,
camel.
Vanaboris is the camel. And the one that gave me a lot of trouble and I needed to look up a guide for was the elephant.
Okay.
Oh my god. I struggled with the elephant, but that's because Breath of the Wild was one of the first, like, big games I ever
So-
played.
Va puzzle guide on...
So, fun fact. Do you want to know the
Poly-
first... You know how you can choose which one you fight first? Want to know which one I went first?
The
Take a guess
elephant.
where I went first.
Elephant.
That's the one you're supposed to go to first.
Oh, you went to the desert where all the pretty ladies are, didn't you?
I didn't know. That's the hardest one.
Oh, of course.
Because...
That was the one I had the least trouble with.
No, it's the hardest because of Thunderblight.
Eh. But it was
Thunderblight's
also
really
the easiest one for
Okay,
me.
hear me out. The hardest blight... By the way, there are 4 individual forces of Ganon known as the blights. There's the Thunder Blight, and there's the Water Blight, and there's the Fire Blight, the blah 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 blah.
And Windblight.
And Wind Blight.
The easiest
Anyways,
one.
Wind Blight was the easiest one for me, but the puzzle in terms of puzzles, that was also the easiest one. Okay, so Vamedo was just the easiest one.
Yeah. Okay, so, but here's the thing. They collect all these cool, really cool, like, people to help them. They collect, Urbosa, this badass Gerudo chief who's really hot. I mean, what? And they collect this really, who can summon lightning. They collect this unstoppable Goron warrior, Daruk, who nothing can get in his way.
He's so completely unstoppable that he managed to be able to channel his magic into literally just a shield that could just...
And he's also just dumb. He's also dumb.
He's a major
He's-
dumbass.
They
but
collect Mipha, a beautiful Zora princess who can heal, and heals Link every one of his battle wounds, and
Because she's probably down bad. She's down bad. She's definitely
she's
down
in love
bad.
with him, and
She's
I
down
like to
bad.
think that Link's in love with her.
it is so obvious.
And then there's Ravioli.
Ravioli.
Don't call him
Rivali.
Ravioli.
He's a
Champion Rivali.
champion Rivali, the cocky one,
Call him by his name.
the archer who cannot miss a shot, and also he's such a powerful bird that he can summon an updraft whenever he wants.
Such a powerful bird.
I couldn't remember the Rito, okay?
You can just say that he's one of the best flyers of his entire
And he summons.
tribe.
He's the only person who can summon an updraft at will. And then they have all these powerful people, and then they just get their shit rocked. Because Zelda can't figure out her powers. We love her, though. She's doing her best.
I feel like we're lingering too much on Breath of the Wild.
Yes, but it's the most recent. It has the most.
It's
And-
not the most
impact.
recent.
Yeah, and they lose. So then Link gets a shit rocked. The Master Sword is almost destroyed. So they go, "Hey, Great Deku Tree, a magic tree that always holds the Master Sword and can talk to Link and can talk. Can you just like hold this for us?" And they go, "Hey, Link, we need you to sit in this Shrine of Resurrection for 100 years till you're back." Only problem is, he forgets everything. Everything's forgotten.
He wakes up like, hello?
He
Who
Yeah.
am I? Who am I?
So he kind of just like has to. So now you're on the adventure trying to, in a ruined world where civilization is scattered into stables and like 5 villages. Collect shit, kill Ganon, save the Blights, and then he does it, and he saves Zelda, and he gets his memories back, and everything's happy. Nothing could go wrong, right? Right? So here's the problem. Hundreds of years ago, when Hyrule was first founded, Ganon was there, of course. And they managed to steal him away. Barely. They had champions once again. All the champions died. And Ganon was sealed. And Link and Zelda, while exploring underneath Hyrule Castle, find a decrepit corpse with a hand on it. And they touch it.
Because they're idiots.
And they awaken Ganon.
Did they touch it, or did it just kind of?
Oh wait, no, it
It just
It just kind of
Yeah.
decided, hey guys.
It went, "Oh, I'm Ganon. You're my Link and Zelda." And then he awakens.
May I?
Yeah.
It twitched and writhed to life, excuse me. It was the most unsettling piece of animation I have ever...
No, there's something even more unsettling.
There is more.
He sends out.
Go on.
It's literally just the fucking Ganon smile.
Ah. So mind you, it was made on the game's for the Nintendo Switch, which is famous for having terrible fucking hardware. And I could have a whole tangent about that, but I won't. But so then what happens is he shoots out this beam. Link tries to block it with the Master Sword. Uh-oh. The Master Sword broke. The sword that seals the darkness that always kills Ganon and is unbreakable broke. And it's only wielded by Link.
It's broken.
It's borked.
It's a
It's
bork.
broken.
And in that happening, Link kind of gets his arm like decayed off. Good thing that hand was that like weird jackal-like hand
Jackal.
I think
was sitting on.
It was clawed. We know that much.
It was sitting on Ganon, and it attached up to Link. Once
It
again,
has
Link
a mind of its own.
and Zelda. Well, she just like kind of disappears. We'll get there. We'll get back to there. And Link just is on an island in the sky suddenly. Every metal in the world kind of just like decayed at once, and a bunch of islands just rose to the sky. Cool. And Link now has a new arm that he learns was from the first king of Hyrule that gives him magic powers.
The very first king.
The very first king of Hyrule. Whose name I'm trying to remember right now.
Raru.
Raru. He's kind of like a jackal. People once
Really
again
like
think he's
him.
hot. Yeah.
Really,
So
really like
so now Link has to try and figure out where Zelda is. And
That's a furry.
And we're not going to spoil exactly what happens. And here's the thing.
Raru.
We're not going to spoil anything else. Because that game came out less than a year ago.
It came out recently enough that we should probably stop.
And it is one of my favorite games of all time. And it's so good that it makes Breath of the Wild one of my other favorite games of all time.
Look like a playtest.
Look like the tech demo for Tears of the Kingdom. So now what else do you want to talk about with Breath of the Wild, with Legend of Zelda?
How much do you guys know about how to break these games? Because I kind
Reasonable
of.
amount, actually.
Because I feel like it would be funny to talk about the funniest
Well, no,
ways
well,
you
no,
can break
no.
these games.
You don't know the funniest way to beat Zelda.
I'm not talking about beat it. I'm talking break it.
Yeah,
I'm not
talking
talking.
about that.
I'm not talking about speed
I'm
running.
I'm talking about. Well, same. They go hand in hand.
No, I just
No.
specifically want to break
We
the
mean like
game.
shattering the game.
That
We
is
mean,
literally
like,
all I care
jacking it
about.
up.
Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time is full of wrong warps to the point that, mind you, when you have you ever played Super Smash Bros. Brawl?
Yes.
Yes.
You get like a 5-minute demo of Ocarina of Time in it, right? In that 5 minutes playing that game, you can get the end credits because of the wrong warps.
That is impressive.
Also, that game has a very dedicated community of blind speedruns, where they play solely off audio cues.
Jesus.
There's a lot of games that have that. It's really cool.
So one of the funniest ways that I have seen to break a Zelda game was very specifically Wind Waker, where there's a way, if you die at the same time as getting the last hit on the final boss, it'll show you the end cutscene, but then it'll act as if you died, and then it'll bring you back to the fight room, and then you're just kind of stuck there.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because then the Ganon model will go through all of all the test poses and whatever.
Yep.
Zelda just stands there, stares at you wherever you go.
Oh, I also want to bring up, in this very cartoonish game, do you know how you kill Ganon and how you get the final hit? You jump up and you stab him in the forehead. It's really brutal.
The cartoony games always have the funniest and
It's
most
not even
disturbing.
funny.
It's brutal.
It's
No,
like...
funny as in ironic considering how cartoony
No,
it
here's
is.
the thing. They can get away with it because it's cartoony.
Yes.
Imagine if they had to put a forehead stabbing scene in Twilight Princess. They'd never get away with that. But because they're cartoony and silly, they can get away with
Also,
it.
Twilight Princess has like one of my favorite Zelda combats. That's just off topic. I just like Twilight Princess's combat system.
I also very, very vaguely know there's a glitch with Majora's Mask with where it's like a fourth day or whatever. I don't remember how you do it. No, there's a glitch to get that.
I don't know Majora's Mask that well.
So there's a glitch where somehow through some sort of breaking progression, whatever, you can end up with a fourth day. And you would think, with the fourth day, the moon would be just like right on top of you. No, the moon just disappears into nothingness.
Makes sense.
But also, you kind of can't do anything, and it's incredibly unsettling.
Yep.
Man, one of the most unsettling parts of that game is just walking around town right before the moon crashes.
The Legend of Zelda is very breakable, especially in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Because the different thing about that game is it's open world.
You can just clip through the walls!
That game has a very, very good physics engine.
But
you see, if you just, like, jump with your shield and kind of, like, tilt Link at the right angle, you just, like, go through walls. And, like, if you jump with your shield and, like, and you're in bullet time where you have your bow out so everything's moving so slow like the Matrix, and you kind of just, like, hit an enemy on the head in the right way, Link kind of just goes flying. Like, it's called a bullet time bounce. I call it bounce, or BTB. I call it bounce that boy.
I call it the Bakablin trampoline.
I
And
never even bothered
Link
to learn.
Moves. It's one of the fastest techniques in Zelda history.
You can also always just knock down a tree.
Hit it a bunch.
Use a stasis ability, which leaves it in place, and then builds up kinetic energy as stored energy, and then you get on it,
Potential
and then
energy.
Listen, it stores it as potential energy, then you get on it, and then it becomes kinetic energy. Long story short, you can rocket yourself across the map whenever you
Or
want.
you could just, like, have 2 bombs, and, like, you jump in the air, and you have one bomb blow up one bomb to hit Link in the back, and Link goes flying once again and gets a lot of speed. They're called wind bombs. I call them boomy zoomies.
Boomy zoomies.
Thank you, Small Ant 1. I love you.
Okay, wait. I have a question.
I'm sorry, Boomy Zoomy.
I have a question.
Boomy Zoomy.
Considering you seem to know a lot about Zelda games, I have a question if you know about this game because I was telling someone about the fact that we were doing Zelda today. And the one thing he mentioned was, I think it was Link's crossbow training.
Yep.
Yep.
It's just it's essentially just, you know how the Wii wanted to do everything they possibly could with pointing?
Yeah.
They went, oh, Link uses a crossbow in Twilight Princess. Why don't we just have, like, an archery range game?
Sounds reasonable. Oh, speaking of Wii games with Zelda stuff, Nintendo Land. Nintendo Land was unironically my first, like, interaction with Zelda.
Mine was playing Ocarina of Time on my DS.
When was my first interaction with Zelda?
If you couldn't tell, I don't... all I know about
When was the
Zelda
first time I
is just,
interacted
like,
with this game series?
Do you know your first game?
I think technically my first game I owned was Breath of the Wild, but I know I played games before that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. For me, it was technically the first Zelda game that I beat and made me fall in love with the series was Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
But I played Ocarina of Time on the DS. But I was a little child. And I didn't really know what I was doing.
The first, like, real Zelda game I ever played was...
I think I played Majora's Mask somewhere along the line before getting to the...
Yeah.
I also might have played Skyward Sword on a friend's Wii.
I played Skyward Sword on the Switch because they remade it and it was fun. I like that game.
The first real Zelda game I ever played was Breath of the Wild. However, I played it like right when the Switch got released.
The problem is, well, to be fair, it's a Wii U game.
I know.
The problem is Breath of the Wild
is not like any other game.
You can't call it a real Zelda game. Because a real Zelda game is just a bunch of dungeon crawls, mostly.
When I say real, I mean not Nintendo Land.
And you also collect a bunch of, Link is known for, while he doesn't have a lot of, like, special powers, brother's got gadgets.
Gadgets?
Bro is the Bugs Bunny of Hyrule. He'll just...
I'm sorry, Brother's Got Gadgets is gotta be the funniest thing you've said all day.
He just pulls out this remote control, like, little bird beetle thing that picks stuff up. He pulls out a giant hammer. He will get boots that let him run at super speed. He will do whatever he wants, really. Also, he has hook shots, which are cool grappling hooks.
Whee!
But Link has gadgets.
Link is gadgetified.
Mario gets power-ups. Link gets gadgets. Kirby
gets whatever you got.
Literal bodies.
Kirby eats people.
Mom says, "Is this the Little Mermaid?" Why?
Under the sea.
Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat?
Under the sea, life is the bubbles. There are no
No, you know what we need to talk about at some point?
sea.
You know what we need to talk about? Kirby at some point.
I don't know Kirby.
We need to talk about Kirby.
I don't-
We need to talk about Kirby, honey.
You have to listen
So if
to
you
me
think,
talk about
so
my
I just want
favorite
to say,
puffball.
if you guys think Link is very powerful,
My first game was Kirby's Adventure on the SNES.
Kirby literally fights the forces of the universe.
Kirby has killed approximately 15 gods.
And they're all horrifying for some reason.
And they're all horrifying.
Link gets to fight this one guy over and over.
It's like Link is fighting a demigod. Kirby is literally just fighting
Kirby
the
is
forces.
fighting eldritch horrors. And
Kirby's fighting God, but in like a fighting Cthulhu and Yogg-Sothoth kind of way, and not a like.
you're just raw dog and saying their names.
Kirby is fighting the Yellow King. Link is fighting the same Dark Lord 15 times in a row.
Link's just fighting Sauron a bunch.
Basically.
Link's fighting Sauron, and then
Kirby's fighting Gandalf if he was evil.
Kirby's over here fighting like
The old ones that live between the worlds, something far beyond anything a mortal could comprehend.
and then Link
Out
is out
past
here
infinity.
beating up the Dark Lord.
Okay, Mom, Kirby's Yarn Adventure doesn't count. I was a child and I barely remember that
The
game.
Yarn Adventure.
Kirby's Epic Yarn, oh my god. Even that game is kind of horrifying when you really think about it.
Yeah, but this is not the Kirby episode. This is the
This is
Legend
not
of
the
Zelda
Kirby
episode.
episode. We can do Kirby some other time.
Mom is crying, sobbing at this. slash pause.
Slash
Was
Was it
pause.
me singing Under the Sea, hitting the full...
No, it was me describing the
Deep dark gods that Kirby must face to save the cute little friends from home.
He's just hungry.
He's just hungry.
Someone ate his cake, and it was on... Genuinely, a plot... The way that one of the games starts is someone eats Kirby's cake, and he gets... mad, and he
So
gets
pissed.
upset, and eventually he fights God.
Kirby's me. I would fight God for a cake.
Oh, also,
You
there's
know what else?
there's a game where... There's a mini game in one of the Kirby games where you just, like, test your strength, and Kirby will just, like, destroy planets.
Yeah. You know what else we could talk about in a Kirby episode? The Kirby anime that just kind of never really existed.
Yep. Also, I want to bring up, so, does everyone... You all know the power scaling wiki, right? Kirby's on top.
Sounds about right. You can have any power. pretty much.
No, it's because he's killed gods.
Yes. Partially because he can have any power.
But yeah, Legend of Zelda is a fun game, one of my favorites, and I love Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I don't want another Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom game. I want a Zelda game.
I would maybe actually play it if they made a new one.
Jordan, what do you?
I would play anything they put out.
I
I'm
love Zelda.
ravenous.
Oh no, I love Zelda, and I will play.
Also,
I play
there's
all
an
Zelda
expansion
games.
of Breath of the Wild where you get a motorcycle.
And you also get like this cool. There's a cool one where you just get sent to one hit, but you get this weapon that one hits anything.
You get a motorcycle. Oh my god, the motorcycle. Okay, hear me out.
The motorcycle can get powered by apples.
First of all, you can power it with literally any item, and second of all, it was the most fun part of the game for a while because once I beat everything and I didn't know what to do, I was just powering across Hyrule at maximum speeds until I crashed into cliffs.
I never got the DLC for that game.
One of my
I just remembered.
favorite
So
things ever.
one of my friends last year for his birthday gave him Tears of the Kingdom. I literally pre-ordered it because it came out like 2 days before his birthday. Point is, when he was playing, what he would do was he would like try to 100% every region before moving on. So it took him like 100 hours just to get through the first 2 villages.
I put 100 hours into that game, and then burnt out.
Oh no, the way I play things is I speedrun to the end, and then I will try to clear things afterwards.
You don't enjoy the story?
No,
Tears
I
of the
will-
Kingdom has one of the most beautiful stories.
By speedrun, I mean I don't do what my friend does, where I try to 100% all of the
Here's the
quests
thing.
in a region.
Oh, of course I tried 100%.
Here's the thing,
What are you
that's
talking
No,
about?
different.
I will do that after
Here's
I
the
beat the
thing.
boss,
You
because
can't-
otherwise I will burn myself out
Here's the
before I
problem.
beat it.
That's not a speed. Here's the thing, you can't use the word speedrun because speedrun is just as fast as possible.
Yeah, that's not a speed run. That's
You
a
know what
beating-
you know what I'm saying.
No,
No, I
because you say
don't.
speedrun, I went. You didn't pay attention.
No, when
to
I
one
say
of the,
speedrun, I mean I don't do the extra stuff.
that's not
Play it
speedrunning.
like
That's
a
just
normal-
I
playing.
know that it's not technically speedrunning.
No, that's just playing the game normally.
Play it normally.
No.
No, yes.
No, playing normally is you do some side quests, you go through the game, whatever. I
not
completely
necessarily.
ignore all of the side quests.
That's just doing the main
Okay.
quest.
Here's where you're there's speed running where you just
Yes, I know what actual
No,
speedrunning is.
There's 100%ing, which is not playing the game normally. You play the game normally.
You're just doing the main
No, I
quest.
ignore
Whether
the side
you
quests
do
completely.
Side- yeah,
that's
they're
a
optional.
normal way to play the game.
You guys are not listening to me.
No,
I am. You're normal.
Yeah, you're playing the game in a normal fashion that people play games in. You're just doing the main quest. That's normal.
You guys are not fucking listening to me.
I do that.
Yeah.
It's normal.
I'm saying, especially in comparison to my friend, who will quite
Yeah,
literally.
he's
friend's
not
weird.
normal.
I know
Here's the
he's
thing,
not normal.
You can't say that you're not normal because you're not doing the not normal thing.
I was not saying that I was not normal for that reason.
Yes, but with the way that you play the games is objectively a normal way to play a game.
No.
Yes.
Literally every other person that I have asked has said that I'm weird for not doing the side quest first.
You play with you. Then the people you're asking are people who hardcore play video games.
Yes.
That's not normal. You're asking the wrong people.
How am I supposed to know what's normal if they're the only people in my life?
Find an person who just averagely plays a video game.
How am I supposed to know what's average if the only people in my life...
Because you have to factor in, side quests are designed to be optional. You don't have to do them. All you have to do is the main quest. Therefore, it's normal to just do the main quest because they're optional. You don't have to.
They are there with the intention of you doing them at
No.
some point.
No, they're there for if you want.
Yes, but they are made with the intention of getting done by someone at some point.
Not necessarily you.
My mom says, wow, in response to this argument.
Cause we're objectively right.
No, you're not objectively right. To say that you're objectively right is just as wrong as me saying that I'm objectively right.
But you're objectively wrong.
Yes, that is my point. My point
Yes,
is...
yes, your point is that you're objectively wrong. Cool.
Shit.
That makes us objectively right.
No. There is a midpoint.
No. There
is a midpoint.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna be so fucking honest. Trying to have these arguments with you is impossible. Not to mention,
So
I didn't
thank you for
want...
listening to Hyperstation Week. It's been a great two
It's been a
seasons of this show. I don't know if I can ever do this again, because I'm about to jump out the window cam.
Fans, thank you so much for listening. We're kicking Victoria.
Oh my
Actually,
God.
I'm kicking myself. I feel like I'm stuck between my parents' divorce.
Mom, I'm not saying it's choose your own adventure.
No.
My mom's saying I'm wrong.
Don't
It's
keep it
choose your own
going.
adventure. That's what I'm saying. That you can do them, you don't have to.
What I was saying was I'm doing it the boring, correct way. That was the point I was trying to make, was I'm doing it the boring, correct way.
Okay. Wow, you're saying doing the main quest of a game is boring.
I'm saying doing the main quest and not doing any of the side quests is boring.
No. Because the main quest is where most of the fun is, because that's where all the cool dungeons are. And
Not in
that's-
Legend of Zelda. Legend of Zelda, most of the fun stuff's in the side quests.
Mom says wrap it up.
Jordan, can you do the outro? I don't think I have the power to.
Well, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, and everyone not on that spectrum, thank you so much for listening to whatever on God's green, blessed earth this was. I have been Jordan. It's been lovely having you here. If you ever want to find me on the campus of NJIT, I'm pretty short, but not always because I wear these platforms sometimes, and I just re-dyed my hair, so now I have really purple hair if you want to find me. It's really curly. If you want to find Phoenix, they're taller, and they have somewhat faded pinkish hair,
And I have a tattoo now, so my sleeves are rolled up for like a few weeks.
and they have a tattoo, so you can see their forearms. And if you want to find Victoria,
I'm probably asleep.
Carhartt jacket and Crocs, if you have the privilege of seeing her outside the context of being conked out or playing Fortnite at 2 a.m. Woman!
Who are you, Cosmo's roommate? Thank you all for listening.
I try to at least turn down my volume and I don't talk.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for
Bye.
listening. I'm gonna
Get me out of here!
go get food and then curl up and cry.
Dude,